Hello and welcome to another Draisine160 video. Today we're going to be looking at installing an extension part that I've made in 3D print which will fit into a Tomytec chassis. This can be used currently on my Z2 kit, but I'm also looking at using a similar technique for the X72500 kit that is not far from being released. The important thing to realise is that the beer is optional, but it is good to have. The parts that come with the kit include extensions for the cardan shaft and an extension for the chassis. Remove the weight is the first element of work that needs to be done so that you can expose the pickup parts that are in the chassis, and remove the cardan shaft. At this point, a simple cut and installing the extension part for the cardan shaft will allow the cardan shaft to be the appropriate length once the chassis is fully lengthened. At this particular point, you need to then flip up the power pickup pieces of metal. I think that they're brass or some other similar type, and effectively leave them in the up position for the next part of the job, and they'll eventually be cut off and extended. That's how I did this, but there's various other techniques such as using wire. At this particular point, you cut the chassis. There is a particular place where you cut it that's just in front of one of the pieces of plastic. This has been sped up for your viewing pleasure. It took about 3 or 4 minutes to cut through the plastic, and I'm using a razor saw here in a mitre block, which meant that it was a straight cut, and once it was done it gave quite a clean cut, which was quite satisfying and not too hard to achieve, and I consider myself to be relatively mediocre. So there's the cut there, and then it's a simple case of simply gluing in the replacement parts. So I cut off the pickups at this point, but the gluing in the replacement part was a simple case of using a bit of super glue, but I think in future I might even consider using a warm glue gun, and then it fits quite nicely inside the Z2 model that I've made, and here it is in operation on my layout, just running around. It's a lovely little model, and I think this one is a good way of extending a Tomytec chassis, because they're extremely reliable and very simple to modify like this. So thank you for watching, and we'll see you soon.